You're watching Netrush Report, your home for tennis drama, rivalries, and the stories that go far beyond the baseline. If you live for the intensity, the comebacks, and the legends in the making, hit that subscribe button and join the rush. Naomi Osaka entered Beijing with high hopes. Ranked inside the top 20 and seeded 12th, she was expected to go deep in the draw. Her return to the China Open carried weight, especially after a solid US Open semifinal run that signaled she was finally piecing her game back together after years of struggles with injuries, breaks, and confidence swings. When she stepped on court against Belarusian qualifier Alexandra Sasnovich, the opening set looked like vintage Osaka. The forehand was firing, the serve was unreturnable, and the aggression left Sasnovich scrambling. A 6-1 demolition in the first set seemed to confirm what everyone thought. Osaka was on her way to another strong run. But then the match flipped on its head. Sasnovich adjusted her return position, started redirecting Osaka's pace, and forced long rallies that broke down Osaka's rhythm. Suddenly, Osaka's shots were sailing long. The errors piled up. The timing was gone. What began as domination turned into desperation. Sasnovich took the second set 6-4 and then rolled through the decider 6-2, stunning the crowd and securing her first ever win over Osaka in their 5th career meeting. For fans, the shock wasn't just in the result, it was in how quickly the tide turned. Osaka went from unplayable to unraveling in less than an hour. At the press conference afterward, Osaka didn't sugarcoat the reality. "Honestly, I don't think I played well," she admitted. "But I tried to fight, so I'm happy with that." Her tone was calm, but clear. This wasn't self-destruction, it was acknowledgement. She knew her level wasn't where it needed to be, and she wasn't going to pretend otherwise. She also pointed out a key factor. This was her first match since the US Open semifinal. A gap in competitive play, especially at the highest level, can throw off rhythm, sharpness, and confidence in crucial moments. "Yeah, it was the first match since the US Open," she explained. "So just going to work on a couple things and hopefully play better in the next tournaments." This is Naomi Osaka today. Transparent, realistic, and focused on growth rather than excuses. The China Open has been both kind and cruel to Osaka throughout her career. 2017, her debut ended quickly, a straight sets loss to Angelique Kerber. 2018, a breakthrough year where she reached the semifinals before falling to Sevastova. 2019, the pinnacle. Osaka claimed the title with a run that saw her defeat Bianca Andreescu and top seed Ashley Barty. It was one of the biggest titles of her career and cemented her as one of the tour's dominant forces. 2024, a frustrating exit in the round of 16 after withdrawing mid-match due to a back injury. 2025, this second-round collapse against Sasnovich. The contrast between her 2019 triumph and her 2025 disappointment couldn't be starker. It shows just how unpredictable tennis is and how even the best players can swing between glory and defeat. While much of the attention naturally fell on Osaka, credit must go to Sasnovich. Ranked outside the top tier, she entered the match as the underdog with a 0-4 record against Osaka. Yet, she didn't fold after a one-sided first set. Her tactical shift, standing further back on returns, mixing up spins, and elongating rallies, completely disrupted Osaka's power-based rhythm. Sasnovich's resilience exposed Osaka's lack of match sharpness. And by the third set, Osaka's body language revealed what many suspected. The match was slipping away, and there was no plan B strong enough to wrestle it back. For Sasnovich, it was a career-defining win. For Osaka, it was a wake-up call. One thing that separates this era of Osaka from earlier phases of her career is her maturity in handling losses. A few years ago, a defeat like this might have left her visibly emotional, even withdrawn from the press. But today, she faces setbacks with openness. She doesn't hide disappointment, but she doesn't let it consume her either. Her words after the match reflected a player who has learned to separate performance from identity. Losing hurts, but it doesn't define her. This perspective may be her greatest asset as she looks ahead to the rest of the season. Osaka isn't dwelling on Beijing. Her sights are already set on the next WTA 1000 event in Wuhan, beginning October 6th. It's a tournament she's only played once before, back in 2017 when she lost a 3-set battle to Elise Mertens. This time, She arrives with a point to prove. The surface, conditions, and competition will be tough, but it's exactly the kind of environment where Osaka can rediscover her rhythm. With more matches under her belt, her timing and confidence could return quickly. Fans know that when Osaka locks in, she can be nearly unstoppable. This defeat might sting, but it's not catastrophic. Osaka remains a global superstar, a four-time major champion, and one of the most marketable athletes in the world. Her comeback journey since maternity leave and injury struggles has been inspiring, but it's also been inconsistent. At her peak, she's one of the best hardcourt players in history. But getting back to that peak requires more than talent. It requires rhythm, confidence, and the ability to adapt in matches like the one against Sasnovich. The question is whether she can put together a string of consistent results leading into the year's final stretch. The talent is there. The mindset is evolving. The hunger? Still burning. Social media lit up after the match. Some fans expressed concern that Osaka still struggles with long rallies and tactical shifts. Others pointed out that her lack of match play explained the drop-off. Many applauded her honesty in the press room, contrasting her maturity today with the difficulties she faced earlier in her career. Tennis analysts echoed these views. Former players noted that Osaka's serve and forehand can win her matches outright, but her movement and defensive game need to improve against players like Sasnovich who thrive on counterpunching. Naomi Osaka's exit from the China Open wasn't the result she wanted, but her reaction showed growth, resilience, and focus. She admitted she fell short, she accepted the reality, and she set her sights on what's next. This isn't the Naomi Osaka of old, the one who crumbled under the weight of expectation. This is a more balanced, self-aware champion who knows the road back to dominance is long, but worth traveling. Fans will watch closely in Wuhan. Will she rebound quickly? Or will this loss signal deeper struggles? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Naomi Osaka's story is far from over. You've been watching Netrush Report, where the stories of tennis live far beyond the baseline. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the drama, the rivalries, and the legends in the making. Until next time, stay tuned, because in tennis, the story is never finished.